What's up, everybody? It's Corey, host of the Grease Pole Podcast, and today we wanted to bring you week 2 of our performance tiers. You know how we say on the pod, what a guy, as it pertains to Coach Sirianni? What a fucking game Monday night was. That's what we wanted to see as Eagles fans. So right now we wanted to take a moment and break down our performance tiers for week 2, brand new series, YouTube exclusive, that we just debuted last week after week 1 against Detroit. If you want an explanation for the tiers and why they're named after such, click the link right here, and it'll take you to the explanation as to why the tiers are named what they are. So now, let's get into week 2 and take a look at who ended up in what tier. Starting with, obviously, who else? The Brian Dawkins tier. And the Dawkins tier, look, he was kind of I put him in a wonky tier last week. Everybody else loved his performance. It's got to be Jalen Hurts, right? He put together a killer first half, going 17 for 20, with 251 yards and a touchdown through the air, 7 carries for 50 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Hurts just looked different. He looked different. He looked more in command of the offense. He looked more like Sirianni trusted him. He looked like he was more of a field general in the pocket as well as on the ground. He wasn't completely resorting to running legs first. He was using his arm. It was effective through the air. That's what you want to see out of a franchise quarterback, and he looked excellent Monday night, in particular in the first half. So Dawkins' tier this week has to start with Jalen Hurts, QB1. On the other side of the ball, in the defense, the guy that rocks Hurts' old number, big play Slay, right? Justin Jefferson was held to 48 yards on 6 receptions on Monday night, but it was Darius Slay who shut him down completely. Kirk Cousins targeted Jefferson 5 times against Darius Slay, and he was held to 0 receptions. 2 of those, Slay picked off in the end zone. Okay, so there's a reason he's a captain. There's a reason he's a Pro Bowler. There's a reason he's the leader, one of the leaders in his defense, okay? Hell of a performance by Darius Slay, and you see what he's able to help reach his potential a little bit more when he's got a valid corner opposite him in James Bradbury. This was a hell of a performance. Like we said, a lot of people think Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in football, and Darius Slay was the absolute definition of a shutdown corner on Monday night. And this isn't an Eagles-specific one necessarily. I just wanted to take a moment to say fuck Jalen Reagor and laugh at him, right? The Boo Birds were out on Monday night, but all number 5 in purple had was, I believe it was one little gadget jet sweep for 17 yards, right? And we've seen that before. That's all he had. So, we put the video out the other night, like, please not a revenge game. Props to the Birds for shutting that dude down. That made everybody happy that he didn't come out and end up balling out and have the first game of his career actually worth a shit against us, his former team. Going on to the Chris Long tier. I want to give this to the plethora of weapons that the offense has, okay? A.J. Brown, 5 catches for 69 yards. Devontae Smith, 7 catches for 80 yards. Dallas Goedert, 5 catches for 82 yards. And Quez Watkins with an incredibly Quez Watkins stat line, 2 catches for 69 yards, including a 53-yard touchdown. A beautiful play from Hurst to Quez Watkins to really bust this fucking game wide open. This is what you see. This is the full potential of this offense when everybody's out there, everybody's healthy, right, and the ball is being distributed everywhere across the field. This was a beautiful thing to see. Everybody got involved. Quez Watkins, I don't love as a wide receiver 2. I fucking love him as a wide receiver 3. You see how effective he is behind A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Love this performance across the board on the perimeter for Jalen Hurts and his crew. Let's move down to kind of the bummer side of shit, right? The Nelson Aguilar tier. And I want to reference Jonathan Gannon again because Haason Reddick in coverage, like, he was matched up against a random-ass tight end, and that ended up actually setting up a touchdown by Minnesota and Irv Smith Jr. And again, that touchdown didn't end up mattering, much like the NFC Championship a few years ago, but we brought this dude in to rush the passer, to rush the quarterback. Why does he keep being dropped in coverage? He's allowing catches against dudes that nobody's ever heard of. I don't even remember the guy's name. Random white Minnesota dude. Okay? So, Jonathan Gannon again, props to Howie for bringing in Haason Reddick, but stop deploying him in coverage. All right? Just pin his ears back and get his ass after the quarterback. If not, this is what happens, okay? Cheeks of the Cheeks, Chip Kelly tier. Quickly, there wasn't really a whole lot to pick on, but I've got to say the 3 illegal procedure calls in the first quarter, right? Or in the first half, rather. Actually, correct. I believe they were all 3 in the first quarter. 2 on my guy Landon Dickerson and 1 on Isaac Seumalo, okay? Thankfully, the game played out in such a way that they didn't end up mattering, but these are potentially going to be killers, okay? Down the road, once you get into the postseason, you can't have illegal procedures, illegal man downfield. Those are obvious. Those are discipline penalties, right? We don't have a dumb offensive line. There's no reason this should be happening, especially with the frequency in which it was happening. So those types of things, those penalties, have to be cleaned up. I'm nitpicking a little bit here, but I wanted to put something in that Chip Kelly tier, and that to me was the obvious thing. Other than that, not a lot to be mad at all about Monday night's game against Minnesota. Home opener, crowd was white hot, the squad came out of the gate fucking ready to go. So this is what you want out of your home opener. This is what you want to make a statement and establish yourself as contenders in the NFC. It's only week 2, but I like what I saw. I'm sure you did too. What are your thoughts on the game? Leave them in the comment section below. What do you think of the tiers? Is there any pieces you would move around to make these tiers look differently than we've got them looking? Let us know in the comment section. Hit subscribe if you like Eagles content like this. We've got more different series coming your way as well, in addition to the pod every week. So hit subscribe if you want more Eagles content delivered to your homepage. If not, thanks for checking us out either way, but we'd appreciate it if you do. We'll see you next time. As always, go Birds.